مرحبا بكم مرة أخرى أصدقائي في قناة Midnight Express. It is hard to comprehend just how long ancient Egypt existed. It was thousands of years, and within that time, there were so many people living their lives, working on projects, creating things, doing whatever it is that people did back then. Well, today I'm going to tell you about one of my past lives. I will tell you about the time I lived in ancient Egypt. I had an amazing life there. I have memories that come through in my dreams. I can vividly remember some of my memories from that time. I'll share them with you now. Some of the memories are kind of dark and disturbing, but I can't help but remember them. So I'll just go through them one by one. The first thing I want to mention about my past life in Egypt is who I was. I'm a male. I've always been a male. I used to be a carpenter. Back then, carpenters were pretty much like engineers and scientists. You see, there was no separation between these professions. Back then, all knowledge was combined. You learned something, you would apply it, and if needed, you would teach it to others. There were no schools as such. They were more like workshops, where you would share your skills with youngsters. If you were good at something, people would call you over to fix or build something. In my village, I was known as Thonis, the guy who could fix anything. I would work with wood, metals, and stones. People would bring me things that they don't know how to fix. I would take it and try to figure out how to fix it. Then, once I figured out how to fix it, I would show them how it's done. I had a big workshop where people would sit around and watch me work. The nice part about being a carpenter was that I could travel around to different cities. Since I didn't really have a family to worry about, I could go wherever the work took me. I wasn't rich, but I had enough money to buy food and a place to stay whenever I traveled. During that time, I knew someone named Akhenaten. He was the Pharaoh at the time. I met him when he came to my village looking for someone to make him a wooden boat. I fixed his boat, and he liked me so much that he invited me to come work at the palace. I spent several years working at the palace, making furniture and other things out of wood. He was a very nice guy. His wife was Nefertiti. She was the most beautiful woman anyone had ever seen, and the rest is history. After spending several years working for Akhenaten, I went back to my village. My father was getting old, and he asked me to come back home and take care of him. He was a farmer, and he couldn't do his work anymore because of his old age. I felt bad. I should have gone back home much earlier, but I got caught up in my work. I promised myself that I would never forget him. I cared for him for 2 years until he died. When he passed away, I buried him next to my mother. She had passed away years before. I was an only child. I had no brothers or sisters, so I was completely alone. The reason I remember all of this is because I have pictures from that life. They're not just normal pictures in my head. They're very vivid and clear. They feel like they happened yesterday. Every time I close my eyes, I can see the pyramids, the Sphinx, the desert, the Nile River. I can smell the spices, hear the birds and the people talking. I can even taste the food I ate. It's amazing. I don't know how else to describe it. My life in ancient Egypt was good. I was healthy and strong. I worked hard, but I also played hard. We would have feasts and festivals and drink palm wine until we were drunk. We would dance and sing and just have a good time. I had a lot of friends, and I was respected by everyone. I wasn't rich, but I didn't need much to be happy. I was content with what I had. One of the things I remember the most was the Great Pyramid. I used to go there often. It was amazing to me how big and tall it was. I couldn't believe that people actually built it. I would stand there and look at it and think about how it got there. I later found out through a wise old mystic about the teachings of a scribe who once lived among the Egyptians. He was a very wise and noble character who came from a distant land, long forgotten. I was told he built the pyramids, but I never knew his name. Another thing I remember was the Sphinx. I used to go there too. It was scary to me. I thought it was a real lion. I didn't know it was just a statue. I would walk past it and it would scare me. I would run away as fast as I could. I remember thinking that it was the most terrifying creature I'd ever seen. I also remember the Nile River. It was amazing to me how big and wide it was. I thought it was endless. I would go there to swim and fish. I loved swimming in the river. It was so refreshing and cool. I would dive into the water and try to catch fish. I would sell the fish for money. I also remember the desert. I used to go there to get sand for my building projects. I would load up the sand on my donkey and take it back to my village. One time I was in the desert and I saw a caravan of people coming my way. They were riding camels and they had all kinds of goods with them. I thought it was amazing. I wanted to travel the world and see new things. I remember thinking that it would be great to be able to travel like that, to see new places and meet new people. Overall, my life in ancient Egypt was good. I had a purpose, I was respected, and I was content. I didn't have much, but I didn't need much to be happy. I was grateful for what I had. When I was young, I used to wonder if I had lived before. Now I know the answer is yes. I have lived many times before. This is not my first time on earth. I have been here many times before. I have lived in many different countries and cultures. I have been an Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Persian, Indian, Chinese, and Japanese. I have been a man and a woman. I have been rich and poor. I have been happy and sad. I have experienced everything that life has to offer. Now that I know this, I am not afraid of death. I am not afraid to die. I know that I will be reborn. I know that I will resurrect. I know that I will experience life again. When I think about this, it makes me feel good. I can do whatever I want. I can be whoever I want. I can go anywhere I want because I am the co-creator of my being. Birth is the death of the soul, and death is the birth of the soul. Think about that. The best part is, I know that I am not alone. I know that I am connected to everyone and everything. We are all one. We are all part of the same energy. We are all made of the same stuff. We are all going to die. We are all going to resurrect. We are all going to experience life again, together. So if you are alive right now, I want you to know that you are lucky. You are lucky to be alive. You are lucky to be experiencing life. You are lucky to be connected to everyone and everything. You are lucky to be part of the same energy as me. And now for the big question. Do I reunite with my ancient Egyptian friends and family in this life somehow? To be honest, I don't know. I feel like I have a connection to everyone, but sometimes, some way, I meet some people that I have an instant connection to. Could it be that everyone we meet in our lives' journey are the same people we shared previous lives with? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who knows? All I know is that I feel connected to everyone and everything. Maybe that's enough. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And if you want to hear more stories like this, please subscribe. And remember, as always, stay connected, embrace stillness, and always stay true to yourself. It is done.